Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. No bells and whistles really. I hope everybody likes the new intro. It's just kind of what I could come up with for free for right now. So it kind of takes away a little bit of the, I don't know, pressure from saying like and subscribe. So we're back with more Too Old to Die Young. The show, well, really the movie in 13 parts with the good title by Nicholas Winding Refn. I guess I was right the whole time how to pronounce his name. I thought it would be harder than that. So we're on episode 6. I was going to do these in blocks, but I'm just kind of knocking this one out. It's called The High Priestess, and it's full spoilers from this point on. Look, nothing has changed here in the way I've talked about this. I did watch the first part of, God Help Me, a Collider video on, they had a girl on there interviewing Nicholas Winding Refn about this show. And this poor girl, she's probably the only one in Collider that like knows this guy's movie universe. I bet because Christian Harloff or somebody like that can't bother to pretend to understand this kind of shit, right? So they got this girl there, and she's fine. She's doing fine. I mean, you know, there's nothing against her in this. It's just like they were just like, well, we got an opportunity to interview this guy who knows, you know, anything besides Drive. And this girl was probably like, I do. And so she's in there interviewing him, and he's being himself, which, I mean, he is like the poster boy, like in this. Like he is, when you think pretentious, independent film director, writer, producer, in the dictionary his face would be there. I don't mind his work. I like Drive a lot. I don't particularly care for Only God Forgives because it's too far up its own ass. Neon Demon is weird and interesting, also up its own ass. And this is no different. Too Old to Die Young is, like, again, I love that this was made. I'm glad that Amazon is the place to go to. Well, I wish it was everywhere, but I'm glad that Amazon, at least, is giving freedom to creators to create, whether you like it or not. I feel the same, the way I feel about Too Old to Die Young is kind of like the way I feel about A Star is Born, the Bradley Cooper Lady Gaga movie, where I think I respect the work that went into it, I respect the acting, you know, all that, but I don't care. I don't care for this. I didn't care for the story in that movie, and while I think this show is well acted and well directed and well shot, and the music is great, the score is great, all that stuff, all the things that go into making a show or a movie in this, or anything like I was talking about, it's all here. That's all good. I just don't care about what's going on because, one, again, his up his own ass way of telling this story, like, at least in this interview, it gets explained that he wanted it. This is one long movie, and it's like chapters of a book. Great. I like that. In fact, I think I've mentioned something along those lines in one of the past two videos. That each one is as long as it needs to be, which is great, by the way. I love that. Like, every show, like, whatever you want to tell, man, like, on Amazon, like, I hope The Expanse gets to do things like this, you know, and from here on out, we see more people doing this. Like, if my episode of TV is going to be 2 hours fucking long, then it's going to be 2 hours long. If it's going to be 24 minutes long, it's going to be 24 minutes long, because I have a story I'm telling here, and that is really, really cool, and I want to see more of that, like it's done here. I respect that. I think that's a great choice. I think it's very unique and original, and I think it's a good thing for the future of creators to do this, to go, well, I've only got 30 minutes of story. Well, then you've only got 30 minutes of story. We're big we're big boys and girls. We can handle it. Well, some people can. Some people can't. If you establish that that's what you're going to do, will get on board and be fine with it. The real fans of it, anyway. But in this, again, like what I was talking about before, it's up its own ass. And in this one, we're back to the telenovela part of this, which I just don't care about this crotch-grabbing Jesus guy. I mean, seriously, how many shots are focused on this guy grabbing his dick or looking at his dick, or him looking at Yaritza, who is, God, she is gorgeous. Just looking at her, thinking about how he wants to, have sex with his mother, or maybe he did, or he wanted to. It's starting to seem like he didn't, but that he always wanted to, and now she's like the interpretation of her. She lives in the house. She looks like her. She acts like her. She's, mysterious and got this whole witchy high priest thing going on, priestess thing that, his mother had going on. And so this show is like two things. It's a telenovela about a drug cartel and a witch and a guy who really loves his dick. And and then you got Miles Teller and John Hawkes and Jenna Malone in this other movie about dying ex-FBI agents who are trying to, do mediocre Frank Castle work, and and a cop who's trying to redeem himself by hurting criminals instead of innocent people for a change. And then there's these things that are all going to interconnect, like with his weirdo girlfriend and Stephen Baldwin. Or is it Billy Baldwin? It's Billy Baldwin, right? William? William. He's older now. I have to call him William. And she's just even more weird here. But to speak to her about this episode is her cracking her in the face was two of the worst. This show is not afraid to show violence and be real and be brutal, but they couldn't even pull off a fake slap twice. One of those two times you could have made it look real, but man, neither of them. That was like total soap opera slap, which is why, again, it reinforces how these parts are just like telenovelas. Just really over the top, really long, really dramatic, soap opera stares. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this actress was in. A lot of people in that community do telenovelas because they're soap operas. We call them telenovelas, whatever. I'm getting ramped up here for nothing. So it's just this episode was an hour and 30 minutes long, and when it could have been like 40, maybe less. And I get, again, every time I'm going to be beating a dead horse at this point, that's the filmmaker's style, and I get it. But I mean, do we really need to show nothing? This. I mean, I can't even do it myself. I can't even do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Makes me want to be sick. So it's just shit like that, man. I mean, yeah, you guys got to see some of the posters. Woo! Oh my God, I wonder what was happening on that side of the room. The one part about this episode I did really like was the beginning part of this, where the hierarchy of getting a hit done. You start out with the main guy who's told to kill that Damien guy who likes to chill out in an alley. Like a real weird, like this kind of, he's weird, but I mean, we've seen him be in normal situations, but apparently whenever he's not in those normal situations, he's hanging out in this alley being fucking a character out of Twin Peaks, out of some David Lynch movie. Um, whether he's practicing with a machete or whatever the fuck he was holding, cutting apples, to standing there like he's in a Radiohead video, like, and I like Radiohead, okay, but it still was like, I just watched Anima, that Paul Thomas Anderson, Tom York thing. It reminded me of that. Beats pounding and somebody just kind of standing, acting, looking and acting weird. Okay? I still like Tom York and Paul Thomas Anderson and Radiohead, but when you see that in a show, a movie where somebody's behaving like that, you go, yeah, that's like David Lynch shit. And so the fact that it starts with Alfonso, who goes to this guy who wants 10 grand for it because he's got a point. If you're going to take somebody important out, you should get paid for it. This guy just bringing him down to like 6. It's just like, and then that guy takes the job, and then that guy sees what it, scopes it out, says, nope, I'm not doing this, goes finds another guy who has a baby on the way and needs the cash, and he's just like selling him fucking out down the river for an even cheaper price, so he gets to keep the money and have somebody else send it. So this dum-dum goes and he scopes the shit out, and he sees it, and he's like, I ain't going anywhere near this. And so he goes down the chain even further to a fucking street-level crystal meth addict named Game Boy, who, for some crystal meth and $200, decides to go do it. And then he goes and kills the wrong guy because he used the rolled up piece of the picture that he was supposed to, of the actual target, Damien, and used it to snort crystal meth. So, and I called it too. I was like, oh, he's going to kill the wrong guy. Before he rolled it up, as soon as he ripped the picture, I was like, oh, yeah, he's killing the wrong guy. And he does, and he goes and he shoots the wrong guy, and he proceeds to be killed. This was an interesting scene, watching the hierarchy of this whole thing and how it works. That was interesting. That was hilarious, actually. It was pretty darn cool filmmaking. And then we just get bogged down in an awkward scene with, was that Morgan Fairchild? That was a really, really awkward scene of, like, exposition dump. Like, did we really need to know why Jesus, whatever, can live in his mom's house and that it's not being sold? Do we really need that scene? This show doesn't give us exposition. It just goes, we're going to trust that you can figure it out. But all of a sudden we get this just cringingly awkward scene of a white lady wandering into an open door of a house of her neighbor, just so we can find out that, oh, yeah, I'm back in America now, and I'm taking over her businesses, okay? Okay, bye. You mind if I grab my crotch a few dozen more times? And so that's pretty much the gist of it. They humiliate the guy who tells them that they killed the wrong guy, and that takes like forever, too. There's a scene where she wants to go to this party, and they just stand there staring at each other, him wanting to bang her so that he could finally say he banged his mother, when he should just be wanting to have sex with her because she's hot. I mean, there's that scene where he's putting clothes on her, and if you didn't know the context and the backstory of these characters, you might think that was hot. But I'm watching it going, this is fucking sick. But not in like this is sick, I'm going to go protest, Just weird. And so, in the end, he ends up, she spreads her legs and says, you want to feel your mother? And he goes up in between them. The end. And then she bitch slaps Miles Teller's girlfriend a couple of times, really, really ridiculously looking. And that's this episode. It took an hour and a half to tell that story. And like I said, the acting and everything is fine. It's just so far up its own ass. And so, if you dislike this video because I think it's up its own ass, fine. If you dislike this video with ignoring every good thing I said, that's more about you than it says anything about me. So anyway, if you did like this review though, this honest review, because look, I like this, but I just don't care. Okay? If you care, great. Really, I'm not kidding, great. But I watch so much stuff that there's levels of caring that I have, and right now I'm watching this out of a curiosity to see where this filmmaker is going to take it. And I've still got like 4 episodes right to go, And so, you know, like, it's not like there hasn't been moments of cool, entertaining violence. And it's just, again, get down out of your own ass. Like I said, we need more original content like this to be liked, loved, and hated at the same time. That's the beauty of all this. It's the beauty, one of the few things that I like about living in this era right now. So anyway, if you like this video, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. If you're not a subscriber and you like the content, please be a subscriber. It really helps us out. Me out. Again, a reminder that we're going to be on D's Reviews on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time to talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And it's going to be fun and a blast, and I hope some of you guys can show up and just say hi at the very least, or give a like and subscribe to D. That would be fantastic. Otherwise, this is Robin Smirking Gun Review saying, the Handmaid's Tale live stream is going to have to be pushed to Thursday. The post-show discussion will be on Thursday instead of Wednesday night because of the live stream I'm doing with D's Reviews. So at 9 p.m., like 8 p.m. on Thursday, we will be doing the Handmaid's Tale post-show discussion where we give everybody a chance to watch the show before we talk about it. So hope to see you there as well. So anyway, this is Robin Smirking Gun Review saying have a great day, and we will see you on the next video. Bye.